Yo, what up, is Don?
Samuel here.
Soul Brothers back up in it with a versus video.
I always love doing these videos.
Yeah, the new KD versus the previous KD.
Yes.
12 and the 11, of course.
Did they improve?
I don't know. Let's see. Sammy tested both of these. I haven't tested the 11.
If you guys want a cop, we'll leave a link in the description box.
Yeah, but traction looks kind of similar almost.
Yeah, pretty similar.
It's like a lot of lines.
Yeah.
You know.
But it is translucent for both of them, and I don't know. The KD11 has a really good stop on a clean court. It does pick up a little bit of dust, but I feel like it's a little bit easier to wipe off the dust in the KD11 than the KD12. The KD12, pretty hard to wipe off that dust. You can see from the video, I'm like trying to rub it off, and like everything's like all the dust and dirt is still staying on it. You can see that there are some fraying marks on the KD12, so that can be confused as dirt as well. But it's mostly like dust and dirt that I'm trying to wipe off, and it's not wiping off. So on the clean court performance, I'd say they're both really, really nice. Dust, wiping it off, and just overall performance on dust, I say the KD11 is a little bit better. Outdoor use and durability, I feel like they're both pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
I do have fraying in both of the shoes, but they both have pretty deep grooves and are pretty hard rubbers, so I feel like durability is going to be around the same. So just because of the performance on dust, I give the edge to the KD11. Yes.
All right, moving on to cushion.
Ooh,
they
so
definitely did some crazy stuff in the 12.
Yeah, so it's like pretty much the same thing. I mean, you have a React foam midsole, which doesn't really do anything because the full-length zoom in is right underneath your foot. Of course, the KD11 does have that strobo board, and also the zoom unit is not segmented in the KD11, which feels a little bit different than the KD12 does. The KD11, I needed to break in maybe just like for a day to feel like the zoom like really crazy, but yeah, really bouncy. Impact protection is really good. Court feel is not the greatest in either of the shoes. Also, another thing is the KD11 feels a little bit more clunky for some reason.
In the heel, a little stiffer.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not a huge deal or anything like that, but the cushion is super cagey in the KD11. Same goes for the KD12, but the zoom unit is right underneath your foot. There's no strobo board. It's actually right underneath that insole that's in the shoe.
Yeah, and it's double stacked in the heel.
Yes.
Which is pretty crazy, but yeah.
The heel feels like a lot more compression though. Like your heel really wants to dig into that cushion in the heel for the KD12. And I also like the articulation and segmentation of the zoom unit in the KD12 as well. Like the KD11, it's not segmented, so it kind of feels like you're kind of like walking on like it's basically an airbag. You know what I'm saying? It's like it goes like this and goes like, it just feels kind of weird comparing it to the segmentation, because like the segmentation is like there's little segments and you can feel like the zoom unit bouncing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really like roll over.
Yeah, zoom unit, like a folding zoom unit is not really too bendable.
Yeah.
It actually makes the shoe like a lot more rigid.
Yes.
So when you segment it, it's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah, so overall I think I like the KD12 cushion a little bit better.
Alright, materials though.
Ooh.
Did they take a step back?
I don't know, man. In the KD11, it's a full Flyknit upper. In the toe area, it is pretty glued down, which kind of sucks. And if you saw the dismantling video, there is like a sandwiched like synthetic piece that they do glue into the toe, and it doesn't feel as soft as like the LeBron 16 Battle Knit does, which really isn't glued down at all. So that kind of makes the quality feel a little bit worse in hand than I guess like regular Flyknit should be. But I also really like the stretchy knit. I like that, and I like feeling that on my foot. The knit and material stretch over my foot. But also Flyknit in the KD11 is pretty damn thick. I would say around twice as thick than the KD12. So in hand, I don't know, man. I give the quality and everything a tie. I would say maybe if you like Flyknit better. Flyknit usually does feel better than I guess screen mesh does, but on foot I like the KD12 better because the materials are a lot thinner on foot, a little bit more minimal, and I guess also it's a little bit softer because it's not glued down here in the toe like the KD11 does, and also the tongue, ease of putting on, they're both really easy. You just stretch out the knit in the KD11. The KD12, it's a really big tongue, and you can open it up all the way so you can just slide your foot in. So they're both easy to put on, tighten up the laces, and you're good to go. I kind of like the KD12 materials a little bit better, but if you like Flyknit, obviously go with the KD11.
Alright, fit.
Go down half a size for the KD11. It runs a little bit long and also narrow, and for the KD12, go true to size. What fits my foot better? I'd say they're both around the same. For my foot, I say that KD12 is a little bit more snug, like tight, like in the toe area like this. So just watch out for that as well. But for my foot, they're both pretty nice. Also, another thing that kind of sucks about the KD11, that kind of, you don't break it in, but like your skin gets scarred, and I guess that kind of, you just kind of like get used to it because of that. But like this rubs against the back of your Achilles and it hurts. And then once you keep playing in it, you get used to it. But then, you know, like I stopped playing in it for a little bit because I was testing other shoes, and then, you know, obviously since I got the KD12, I want to play the KD11 again, and it started rubbing on my Achilles, and my skin got real tender and kind of like ripped off and blistered. So just keep that in mind. That kind of sucks.
Oh. And then ease of putting them on, are they different? Which one's easier to get off and on?
They're both pretty nice.
Right.
I mean, I'd say the KD12 is a little bit easier if you have a really big and wide foot.
Yeah.
You really have to stretch this out. But for me, they're both really good.
Right. Support and lockdown?
KD12. Yeah, lateral containment was a real big issue in the KD11. So Leo Chang watched our videos. Shout out to Leo Chang. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he added this foam piece coming up in the toe area for the lateral support and lateral containment, and that fixed it right up for the KD12. So lateral containment is way better than the KD12, and also it is a mid, but the KD12 basically feels like a low. Like it doesn't offer a lot of ankle protection. So I tied up in that aspect, and there's really no heel slippage in either of the shoes. So just lateral containment, KD12 for the win, and that was a pretty big deal for the KD11 for me. So there's that. Moving on to the weight.
The 12 is coming in at 12.7?
12.7, yes.
And so with the 11s coming in
13.54.
a little heavier.
Yeah, so like around an ounce, like 0.8 ounces. It definitely feels a lot more minimal in the KD12 because the materials are a lot thinner, and I don't know, man, like this freaking rubber that comes like cages.
I mean, it's 100% cage.
It's 100% cage.
It's crazy.
It feels like really bottom heavy, kind of like Converse and Vans does, and it doesn't feel like as bad in the KD12 for me for some reason. So yeah, the KD12 feels a little bit more minimal, also a little bit more responsive. The traction is a little bit better in the KD11 for on dust, but the lateral containment is pretty bad. So KD12 for the win there. Overall step and comfort, I'd say the KD12 is a little bit better if you want to feel the zoom in right underneath your foot, but you can also feel the zoom in the KD11, and the materials are both comfortable in both of the shoes. So maybe tied up, but if you want to feel a little bit more zoom, go with the 12.
Durability?
Tied up, I think. They're both, materials and outsole I'd say is around the same. The cushion is both zoom, so I tied up.
Ventilation.
Ventilation, KD12 for the win. The KD11 is pretty hot, especially since the knit is pretty thick on your foot. The KD12 is a lot thinner, and it's a screen mesh which is pretty well ventilated. So KD12 for the win there.
Aesthetics.
12.
I go 11.
I don't know. I never
Something
really
about
liked
the
the
Flyknit.
11. Really?
I like the pattern of the Flyknit. Always looks dope to me.
I like the 12. Alright, wrapping things up. When they both released, retail price was $150, so same price basically, but the KD11 obviously is on sale because it is an older model. What is the better performer? The 12. They did Leo Chang did a lot of things that I didn't like on the KD11, but he fixed all of that up in the KD12, like the lateral containment. It feels a little bit less bottom heavy. Materials are a little bit thinner. It's a little bit more minimal and lighter. The cushion feels a little bit better in my opinion in the 12 as well. One thing that kind of sucks that didn't improve is the traction on dust, but we'll have to see how the KD12 fares on with the solid rubber outsole. So we'll give you an update on that.
Also, it improves support.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'd say KD12 is the better performer. So yeah, that is the versus video. If you guys want to cop either of these shoes, we'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next one.
Later.
Peace.